full year for me. But I've had to deal with a lot of difficulty. I've had to channel a lot of negative energy towards something positive. Hasn't been easy, man.
No.
I'm glad I understand astrology because I know what I've been up against, and I know, okay, I could really screw up a lot of things right now. So just don't react to anything, and that's what I've been doing. Just not putting any pressure, no attention on anything external negative that's tempting me, and just focusing all that on only what I want to do and only what I want to cultivate and create, and being very courageous about that and saying, okay, this is it.
Buenas noches. Bonsoir. It is Friday, and we are so happy to be here. I am so happy to be here. Welcome to Planet Glee. Yes, another week, another Friday. We're here in a little different format from the last time you may have seen us. We usually you just see me and the planet together. But tonight we're going to have my guest sitting next to me, and you can already see his name. So some of the suspense is already taken away. But that's okay. We're going to be talking about, you may see the word Vedic there and astrologer next to it. So when you think of astrology, I hope you think of the planets, because we will be talking about the planets, and mainly our guest, Sam
Geppi. It's a soft G.
Will be, because he is an astrologer, be telling us a lot of things, and feel free to please call in. The phone number is 621-4473. I'm Jennifer Glee. This is Planet Glee. If you've not seen it before, it's a show about a lot of things. Some people ask me, is it a talk show? Is it a comedy show? Is it is a serious show? It's everything. That's what it is. It's everything, because it takes in everything that we have to take in. Whatever we're taking in with our eyes, we're taking in through the camera. So hello, we are broadcast here from Access SF, SF Live, Planet Glee, and so I just want to let you know, if this is your first time, and if you've already heard me say this, go get up and get something to drink, come back and enjoy the show, and please call in if you have any questions. I don't know, Sam, if you want to start off with a little bit about what Vedic astrology is, or shall we go right into the planets?
Whatever you like. I mean, Vedic astrology is the astrology of India, so that is different, the word Vedic, and it's a type of astrology that's related to yoga and the people that grew up around the Indian subcontinent, that part of the world. So it's very old, and it's a type of astrology that's holistically integrated with yoga, Ayurveda, the medicine there, even things like palmistry and feng shui, Vastu and things like that. So it's one of the Vedangas, Vedic sciences. So it's quite precise, and Vedic astrologers in India are looked at as almost like doctors and scientists and, like priests and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's quite a formal and intense study. I just say it's a little different than Western astrology, which generally here in the West, astrology is sort of kind of wacky thing. It's not as, but Vedic astrology is studied like a science. It's quite methodical, and that's all. I guess that's the quick thing to say, and it's related to yoga. You could also just say Indian astrologer, and it wouldn't be off. Because sometimes, they call it Hindu astrology sometimes, or Indian astrology. I don't really like the word Hindu astrology, because Hindu is actually a Western term, but it's that gestalt, like the astrology of India, yoga and stuff. So. That sound good?
That sounds very good.
That's
to
a
me.
Basic introduction to it.
Yes.
Okay. And did you want me to talk more about the planets? Just keep talking about what's happening now, or did you?
You know what?
I just thought I'd do an introduction.
Okay, that was very good. Was there more to it? Because actually, we do have a visual.
Oh, okay.
I forgot that I brought my
Hinduism.
Yeah. Hinduism today.
Right.
And when I was studying Vedic astrology, and I know tiny bit because it's very, very complex. Do you want to tell everyone
27
about
nakshatras? Yeah. Yeah, the 27 nakshatras. Nakshatras are, it's actually a fancy word for the moon. I'm sorry, for the stars. Nakshatra means it actually means the stellar mansions where the stars are, and each day the moon stops in a different sector of the sky. You see there are 27, and it actually takes the moon 27 days to go around the earth. So each day the moon stops in a different nakshatra. This is what Vedic astrology is based on. That's the first zodiac, was a stellar zodiac. It's also the same in Chinese. This is the shared lineage between the Tibetan and the Vedic, because it all came from the Vedic. So anyway, the 27 nakshatras are the 27 lunar mansions, as they're called. So the easiest way to see how the planets have moved from day to day is to look at the moon, because the moon is going to move 13 degrees in 20 minutes, which, if to your eye, when you're standing here on Earth, it looks like about that far in the sky. You measure it, it's about like that, from there to there. You see one night it was there, the next night it's about right there. And that's about 13 degrees, 20 minutes. If you multiply that by 27 days, the moon has gone all the way around the Earth. So these nakshatras are a different level of astrological subtlety. So instead of the planets being in a sign and being in a house, like instead of just there being Taurus, Aries, Gemini, there's also Ashwini, Bharani, Kritika, Rohini, Mrigashira. There's these nakshatras. So in Vedic astrology, when you look at the chart, the planet is in a house, and a sign, and a nakshatra. So, like right now, the moon is in the nakshatra of Ardra today. And it's very close to Mars, because Mars is in a nakshatra that's called Punarvasu. They're both in Gemini, in the sign of Gemini. So that's just a different level of subtlety. So they're very beautiful. They're related to the myths. You see, here's Ardra, and that's a picture of Lord Shiva, because Lord Shiva is the deity related to Ardra. The nakshatras are related to the Vedic deities. I almost said Hindu deities. They're not Hindu. They're Vedic, which means from the Vedas. So in the Vedas, the ancient books, you had Agni, who was the god of fire. And the nakshatra that Agni rules is called Kritika. And then you have, like, for instance, Soma, who is the god of the sacred water. The nakshatra he rules is Mrigashira. Then you have, for instance, Savitur, which the famous chant called the Gayatri mantra, Om Bhurvavashvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam, is a hymn to the god Savitri. He rules the nakshatra of Hasta. And so all of these ancient Vedic deities are the rulers of the nakshatras. And then when you get into the signs, then the deities wind up being things that are the avatars, like Lord Rama and the different, or actually that's with the planets, but then with the signs they wind up talking about things that are related more to earthly things, like they have a caste, like they're a royal caste, like a guna, like a teacher or a warrior. That's what the signs show, more of our worldly life. And then, but the nakshatras wind up showing our celestial nature.
So they don't really have anything to do with caste, do they?
The nakshatras, not necessarily.
Yeah,
no.
I was thinking that.
They have to do with our spiritual nature, the celestial nature that's not just here on Earth.
Yes.
And see, this is a big difference between Vedic and Western as well, as Western astrology doesn't use the stars. And in fact, they go against the stars, because the tropical zodiac is not correct with the stars. This is the difference between the zodiacs. The reason the stars are so important is because they measure the sky in a precise increment. In Western astrology, they use what's called the tropical zodiac, which doesn't base the zodiac on the actual stars and the actual constellations. It bases it on the seasons. But you wouldn't see that in Vedic astrology, because they use the stars in the zodiac. And Western astrologers say, well, it doesn't really matter because you don't use the stars anyway. This is how Western astrologers say, it doesn't matter that the zodiac isn't accurate with the constellations because you don't use the stars anyway. But in Vedic astrology, you use the stars. That's why they use that zodiac. So, but the stars refer to our stellar nature, our celestial nature, our universal nature, the part of us that is a deity.
What we regularly assume as our soul nature.
As our soul nature, right. And so this is a different dimension of Eastern thought as well, not just Eastern astrology. But when you look at someone's nakshatras, you see like what star, what's their sort of universal divine nature, how's it going to come through different areas? Because our sun is considered to be a god. Surya is a god, and the relatives of Surya are the other stars, like Kritika and Rohini and all of these other stars. Which, for instance, Rohini is called Betelgeuse in Western. Like the big star Antares, which is in Scorpio, called the heart of the scorpion, is actually called Jeshta in Vedic. But these are all considered to be deities. And
now, Antares is the Roman name.
Yeah,
the
that's
Roman
the Western
name.
name. Yeah, Antares means the rival of Mars. That's actually what it means, yeah.
Because I know I have,
You have planets in Antares.
My favorite planets in Antares. And it's
beautiful.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's difficult because Antares is a...
It's called the rival of Mars, and the nakshatra it's called Jeshta, which it actually means the eldest, and it's one that's